Oh, hello, good evening, and welcome to the news. I am Sajo Brit. The headlines: the Foni Youth Development Association reminds the government of the Gambia of Haruna Jatta's mother after 4 years. The Citizens Alliance Party on Friday held their monthly press briefing where recent happenings in the country were discussed by the party leader, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. And our guest today on News Review is Omar Diba, National Youth President, Citizens Alliance Party. But first, we will take a look at our stories in detail. It's been 4 years now since the death of Haruna Jatta, who was allegedly killed by security officers under the ECOWAS mission in 2017 in the birthplace of former President Yahya Jammeh. Now his family members and the community surrounding Foni are demanding a thorough investigation into the matter and tasking the government of the Gambia to bring whoever is responsible to face the full force of the law. Our Usman Jatta has more.
Foni in pain, sorrow as they continue to mourn the death of Haruna Jatta, a young man who left a wife and an 11-year-old son behind. According to narrations, Haruna joined a group of concerned youth of Kanilai in 2017 who marched peacefully to the ECOWAS mission headquarters in Kanilai, home of former President Yahya Jammeh. The protesters carried with them banners with words, "Let the soldiers leave the whole of Foni," a call for concern, and Foni should not be left out or intimidated for any reason. The protesters demanded that ECOWAS forces should be removed from the Fonis, claiming their lives continue to be threatened. Rohi Jatta, the widow of late Haruna Jatta, is still seeking for justice over the death of her late husband.
She cannot talk much, very grieved, and the heart is full with sadness. Daily basis he thinks the demise of his husband, how he died, and the suffering that they are facing as a family. He has not much to say, and he is still concerned, availing the support of the association and the people of Foni and that of Kanilai. He is also part and parcel with the move that he wants justice to be served for the killing of his husband. And he wants to know who killed his husband, why was he killed, and he wants to make sure that the whole world hears the concern that he has. As he has a family to control, a family to take care, he has no supporter except on daily basis that the association does and the love of the family members.
Bakari Saibo Sane, former chairman of West Coast Region, and Almame Jiba, Secretary General of Foni Youth Development Association, both challenged the government to bring the perpetrators to justice.
The purpose of organizing this is to make sure we sell the message to the government, initiate them, let them ponder over what happened to Haruna Jatta. It is 4 years, 13 days now. Haruna Jatta was brutally murdered by the Senegalese forces. The third year we wrote to the economic commander. He told us that these Senegalese forces are not in the economic mandate. They are in the mandate of Senegal and that of the president. If we want any clarity, we can go and ask the president, but these people are not in their mandate. Foni has been intensified. Foni has been bullied. Foni has faced a lot of demilitarization. So therefore, with this occurrence of Haruna Jatta, we want to make sure the government take a stand, or else we will continue to demand the injustices, hardship, tyranny, the dictatorship that they have accused the former regime is still surfacing its face. So therefore, we are asking the government of Adama Barrow to make sure that Haruna Jatta's case is investigated. We went to the RVTH and certified medical report was given to us. We have the medical report. Haruna Jatta was shot dead in broad daylight on the 2nd of June 2017. He was buried on the 5th of June 2017.
I want to call on the government of President Adama Barrow
nana omone wonk di Mansakunda Adama Barrow
to do justice
manko kan bangan be tilinge
to the late Aruna Jatta
anku kupurenum duniya ye
and his family.
The family yola too.
I want to inform tell the government of Barrow that two wrongs does not make a right. Aruna Jatta's right must be protected, or his family's right must be protected. Justice has to be done. So many cases happen here, and they were investigated. Why is Aruna Jatta's case not been investigated? His human right, his human right is been violated, and it's not been investigated. And government is mute about it. What happened? We want to know. Even if Haruna Jatta will be guilty. But the populace need to know. It is not about Kanilai. It is not about the former government. It's about Aruna Jatta's right to justice.
Relatives of Haruna Jatta described him as a hard-working man who relied on cattle rearing and the plowing of the soil to put food on the table for his family. Now that he is gone, his family has not received any form of compensation from the government. Lamin Manga, ward chairman of Fonyi Councillor, highlighting the challenges of Fonyi, says the government of Adama Barrow has put much interest in the death of Solo Sandeng, giving deaf ears to that of Haruna Jatta.
Haruna Jatta lota Fonyi Nkolye Dameng.
Where Haruna Jatta stood for the people of Fonyi.
Ndolsi kumbo fo jandin dunia be banna.
We will continue to cry again and again till the end of the world.
Nta banna.
We won't restore that ease.
More killing me ya lonko ikafa Solo Sandeng.
Somebody by the name called Solo Sande.
Afata during demonstration of Yeminke.
He was also he died during the demonstration.
But dunia be bafokan.
The whole world is speaking about the Solo Sande.
Who is Solo Sandeng?
Who is Solo Sande?
And who is Aruna Jatta?
And who is also Aruna Jatta?
So Mansakunda ganna Gambia Mansakunda focusta Solo Sandeng na saya damalta miya lonko afata ko Haruna Jatta fata nyame.
The government of the Gambia do focus only on the issue of Solo Sandeng and also neglected the issue of Aruna Jatta. When you look at it's the same status quo as there also a corner of Solo Sandeng.
So say ndol fana sontale ko paretale ko atol television anin journalistol leftale nyin ko bang ngajibe bang ba kela nyame fo Mansakunda wala dunia be sa lom fana ko mimbe me Solo Sandeng sor me Solo Sandeng fenke fa wole Haruna Jatta fa.
Haruna was reportedly killed in June 2017 during a peaceful protest by the communities of Fonyi who thronged the streets of Kanilai, marching towards the Kanfenda Junction at the main Brikama-Soma Highway with their banners peacefully demanding for the removal of ECOWAS forces in Kanilai. However, an unexpected clash broke out between the Senegalese forces and a group of youth as soldiers started firing live rounds at the protesters who were exercising their rights as citizens of the Gambia. The leader of the Gambia Moral Congress and former Interior Minister at the time, Mai Fati, reacting on the matter in a local newspaper publication, said, "I got involved in the situation when the repercussion of what happened in Kanilai had a potential to threaten the security of this country, and as a security minister, I had to do something to maintain stability. That was my area of jurisdiction. Haruna Jatta was not killed by the forces under my command. It is purely an economic issue. An investigation was conducted and certainly a report was also prepared by the Gambia Police Force and SIS. And I can remember recommendations were made, but that report would not be necessarily presented to me as the minister to act upon," he explained. 4 years now, since the death of Haruna Jatta, his family has not received any form of compensation, and the government has not presented any form of report before the public regarding his death. Now, the Fonyi Youth Development and the family of Haruna Jatta are equally as well calling on the government of Adama Barrow to bring forward the alleged killers of Haruna Jatta to face justice.
Welcome back. And now the Citizens Alliance Party on Friday held their monthly press conference where important issues were discussed, among them the voter registration process, allegations of corruption and more. Our Mati Senghor has more on that story.
Citizens Alliance held its 6th monthly press conference where various topics were discussed, such as party leaders' trip to Europe, voters registration, allegations of corruption, and pending investigations, among others. Dr. Cisse, the party leader and secretary general of CA, highlighted some challenges people face when going to register to get a voter's card and strongly urged the IEC to extend the time frame of the registration period.
Also, there are general challenges we've also gotten from the field, long queues as well. And I think the IEC should have done a better job to ensure that queues are not long. People are busy. We have women who work in their furrows, that's how they feed their families. We have market women, we have people who are in the skilled industry. Going for long queues to get a voter's card, sometimes it discourages them. So we need to find a way how to minimize this. Other challenge is early closure of registration centers. This affects people who are working in the formal sectors. If you finish job at 4, before you get home, it's 5. The registration centers close at 5 or 6. You cannot register. So, and you have to understand that the area where you live, they'll not be there for the entire period. It's just, they are just a dedicated period. Time frame also we think is short, and I repeat this, we are urging and strongly the IEC to extend the window of registration beyond 11 July. It's not possible to register all those who want to register within this short, with all the glitches that are happening, with all the challenges in terms of long queues, and also reports that some areas, the voter printing machines are affected by high temperature, especially in the CRR region, and they stop working. So it means that all these challenges are happening. I think the planning, to be honest, was really poor insofar as this is concerned. So because of that, to accommodate, not to accommodate, to compensate for that, I think there's a need for the voter registration exercise period to be extended beyond the 6-week window.
In another development, he addressed the issuance of attestation by alcalos, where they've got reports that minors are given attestation. Adding that CA is also vigorously monitoring the mayor of Banjul, issuing attestation as there is no mention of a mayor giving the mandate to provide attestation to eligible voters.
One key contentious issue as well is the procurement of alcalos attestation by minors. You see, this issue of attestation, I remember in my previous press conference I raised it. I think some of you were here. I said that it is going to cause a problem for us in the registration. And that I don't know what we should do, because if you take it out, it means that you disenfranchise a lot, because many Gambians don't have passports or birth certificates or ID cards. The only thing they can use is attestation. But also the attestations are causing problems. And I said here that we need to find a solution to go about it to ensure that it is secure and it cannot be exposed or subject to manipulation. But then nobody listened, and this is the situation now. We've got reports that minors are being given attestation attested by alcalos, and they are giving voters cards. Also, another issue that has been contentious and which CA is monitoring very closely and seeking legal advice is the issue of giving mandate to the mayor of Banjul to issue attestation to be eligible voters. We think this is something that we need to look at. We don't want to rush things, because these things have legal implications. It could be the basis also for challenging some of the voters' cards issued in the courts. So we are monitoring the situation vigorously. And we know the constitution is very clear as to who can give attestation. I think it is the alcalo and the chief. There is no mention of a mayor. So we don't know where that came from, but the law is the law. We'll see how that goes. So we are monitoring that. Where it is legally proven that the mayor had no mandate or no legal standing to really give attestation, that could really jeopardize the entire process. But we are also monitoring it very, very, very keenly.
Doctor also urged party agents to observe decorum and know their role as party agents and not interfere with the work of the IEC, as they've seen some agents taking detail of registered voters.
Also, reports of interference with the process by certain party agents, taking serial numbers and details of registered citizens who have already registered. We urge political parties, including the Citizens Alliance, to not do anything that will undermine the integrity of the process. In fact, you have to understand that elections is a process. Voting is one of the processes. Counting is a process. Announcing results is a process. So the process has started. And once this process is undermined at this level, it could have far-reaching implications for the entire electoral process. So it could be a basis.
Furthermore, he stressed that society has a key role to play in solving crime, noting that government should invest in the security sector.
The government promised a prison reform when they came to power. Now we have a prison system that just punishes offenders and sends them back into society without rehabilitation or reintegration. So you go around and arrest young boys for smoking Kali, you put them into mile 2, all of them, or anti-crime for many months or years, no rehabilitation, no nothing. They have criminal networks there, you open the mile 2 door, go home. They come back to society where there is so much stigma for those who have been to mile 2, and no jobs and no prospects. Obviously, what do you expect? The mental health institution has also failed. Tanka Tanka is not a mental health hospital, it's just an intern. Why they intern you, and then when you look better, they release you. Most of the homicide cases we hear recently might have to do with mental health cases. But again, we don't do that here. In other countries, they look at the mental status of the perpetrator when he was committing that crime. So we need to really work on our mental health institutions, do a proper prison reform so that all those offenders, when they come out to back to society, they come as good citizens with a prospect of having a job. That is key. And also to engage young people. To be honest, we need to provide opportunities for our young people. Training and jobs. This is key. This is one of the ways in which we can fight crime. Operationally, we need to equip the police. Both the soft component and the hard component. The soft component is training. See, societies evolve. And they become complex, and crimes become complex. The police has to also catch up to understand how to solve and prevent these crimes. So we need to provide training for the police to understand 21st century crimes, but also equip them with the right materials, vehicles, so they can mobile. I cannot believe that in 2021, the Gambia Police Force don't have communication gadgets. They don't have the right digital infrastructure. They lack the right forensic tools. And I think also society also has a key role to play in solving crime in this country. Even though every citizen has a role to play in solving crime, even though there are professionals, the police. But it is not right when citizens encroach murder scenes or crime scenes and start taking pictures and sharing them on WhatsApp, thereby destroying evidence. It's serious. We let professionals deal with the job.
For TFN News Review, my name is Mati Senghor.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Then walk into any Africell customer care center and activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody follow. There's to follow.
Welcome back, and now I am joined by our special guest on News Review today, Mr. Omar Diba, National Youth President, Citizens Alliance Party. Welcome to the Fatu Network, Omar.
Thank you very much.
Now, as a young person, I know we make up a very good percentage of this country's population, and some people would say, yet still we continue to be disengaged and sidelined. I just want to know, what is the importance of youth participation in politics?
Well, youth participation in politics generally is something key for national development, good governance, and also conducive environment. I think also it is a very critical measure that can deter the frequent occurrence of security implications. I believe that without the young people, politics wouldn't be a process in this country. I think it would be more of an art and not a process, because our population is largely constituted by young people. The participation of young people in politics obviously is key. They would be the leaders, not just tomorrow, but even today, of our sectors, our parastatals, and our state institutions, and even private institutions. So their participation and their role in politics is definitely key towards national development.
And at a time like this, especially the fact that we are preparing to head to the polls, why is it important for youths to participate, particularly during this time? Because oftentimes you hear people saying, oh, I'm not interested in politics, I don't want to take part in politics. Why should we be interested, considering everything that is happening to the young people in this country?
Well, this is a moment when they need to redefine their own destiny. This is a moment when they need to redefine the prospects for their success in their own motherland. And this is a moment for them to define the projections of our country, I mean the positive ones for that matter. So their participation is definitely very relevant for them to be able not just to make a determination of who rules them, but also how they are governed and how that person would deliver in terms of their expectation. It would be a process through which they would be able to build a vision for the country, a vision that they believe would deliver to the expectations of the Gambian, liberate them from poverty, provide them with jobs, and also make sure that a society is created where people can thrive, where success can be registered by young people. So their participation generally in the election, particularly at this registration stage, is quite important, and it has far-reaching consequences on the outcome of our election, 2021.
Absolutely. And now moving on to real politics, because you are definitely part of the Citizens Alliance Party, and I know that your leader just returned from a Europe tour and other parts of the diaspora, I believe. What was the importance and the purpose of this trip?
The party leader, Dr. Ismail Assise, has delivered a lot of interviews when he arrived. And part of them is the one he held on Kerfatu and other media entities. Basically, the purpose of the trip was to meet Gambian residents in foreign countries, particularly asylum seekers, to know about their challenges, but also to know how institutions in those foreign countries are helping them to integrate in foreign states. Also to conduct a very successful tour of institutions relevant to sectors that are daring or that are almost dilapidated in the country, such as the agriculture sector, the energy sector, so that he will be able to learn first-hand information and generate knowledge as to how those sectors are running in these foreign lands and the challenges they face, of course, how they overcome those challenges, and how that knowledge gain can be transmitted towards the benefit and the betterment of the Gambia when he takes over office as president of the Gambia.
And of course, you would think that that is something good you are doing until somebody sits on the sideline and try to criticize you. Now, his tour in Europe came with some criticism because some people were saying that, well, this is a very critical moment in this country where actually Gambians are trying to register to vote. And we've all had the allegations of, registering minors. We've all had the allegations of alcalos giving attestation to, non-Gambians, and yet still you are out there in Europe, they're saying that you are still going back to like the godfathers or whatsoever. How do you respond to these kind of criticism?
Well, I think we need to understand the fact that our presidential candidate cannot serve as an agent for voter registration. What he can do in consultation with the National Executive Committee of the Citizens Alliance is to come up with a body charged with the administration of monitoring the entire voter registration across the country. This he has done to the best of his ability. He formed, or the executive committee formed a task force. Of course, I am part of the task force that is charged with identifying, training, and also distributing voter registration agents to go and observe the registration process in all parts of the country. This was his job as a party leader, and he did this. The rest of the task, of course, lies on those that have been identified for this job. And so far, they are doing so good. We're receiving preliminary reports from them every day, and we have our principal monitor going around the country to also make sure he invigilates the processes and also receive feedbacks from the agents. So the purpose of his visit has no significance or consequence on our monitoring process of the voter registration. What ought to be done by him as a leader has been done. That is establishing a task force that would generally administer the agents' work in terms of monitoring the voter registration. So having people saying that it is not important for him to be outside when there is registration ongoing in the country, it's quite very trivial, and I don't think I would like to say much about that. What he has gained there, when that is matched with the good work that our agents are doing on the ground, it's a plus for the country, not just for the party.
So a task force has been established, like you said, which you are part of.
Yes.
Being on the ground, how would you analyze this whole process that is going on? What is the reality on the ground, considering all the allegations that are flying out there?
Well, the process is so far going good. I think there are challenges that the Independent Electoral Commission is facing, and also the electorates are facing. The general public is facing with the challenge of time constraint, and also there are many issues surrounding the complexity of the registration. Just to start with the challenges so far, the most heated are the use of the Alcalos attestation to procure voter card. This has been a very big contentious issue in most of the communities. We have received reports that even though Alcalos are mandated by law to provide attestation for people for them to procure voter card, they have been allegedly reported to be abusing this right or this authority by giving attestation to minors. And this has been confirmed by Mr. Parkan, an IEC official, that minors have been registering, particularly in the North Bank region. So this is one of the challenges that we are facing, and I think that has a lot of consequence and a bearing on the outcome of the registration itself and possibly the election, because there can be litigation by parties. They can go to court to challenge the registration process. The other one is the time constraint. Most of our civil servants will close by 4. Before they get home to go and register, it's almost too late. IEC would have closed the registration centers, because I'm made to understand that they close at 6. So the window, with the time frame that has been created, which is the 6-week window period for registration, would therefore be very unideal for some of the civil servants. And I think that's the very reason why we're demanding for extension of the registration period, because then we will have an opportunity for every citizen, irrespective of your work nature, irrespective of where you live, to go and get your card as a registered citizen. So we have so many other challenges. We have, I think, technical challenges as well by IEC operation officials. We know for a fact that temperature is quite so high in provincial Gambia, and as such, some of their laptops, some of their machines get heated as a result of high temperature. There is a breakdown in the work process that leads to breakdowns for them to get these machines running again and embark on the exercise process.
But don't you think all that should have been, put into consideration, considering the amount of budget that was allocated for this entire election process?
Well, any failure associated with a process obviously would be accompanied by accountability. So I would say obviously IEC would, in view of these challenges, be responsible solely for any setback, any failure, any challenge or impediment that comes out of this process. So logistic arrangement is key, and I think they could have factored all these issues out and make a very wonderful roadmap that would survive the test of challenges in rural Gambia in terms of operations of machines and other logistic arrangements.
And now that the election is just a stone throw away, how prepared is the Citizens Alliance Party for December 4th?
We are very much prepared. We are optimistic that Gambians would make a good choice. Gambians would make a determination of not just who rules them, but how they are ruled. We believe that our vision, we believe that our policies, we believe that our leadership is something that Gambians are appreciative of, more so the young people, and they have been receptive, they have been quite overwhelmingly welcoming us in communities in Kombo and outside of Kombo. We are very much prepared for the tax, and I think with time more of that will be revealed.
So I'm just curious, because oftentimes when you talk about CA, people don't think 2021. They say they're going to do good in 2026. What do you think?
Well, Citizens Alliance is not an establishment that is futuristic. We are here for today, tomorrow, and forever. I think what we believe in as a party is that politics is marketing. What you sold to the people when it is eye-catching for them, when they believe in it, when they think it is attainable, obviously they're going to buy it. So in the end, sovereignty, as the Constitution speaks for itself, resides in the Gambian people, and they would make a choice at the December polls, and that could be CA, and we are optimistic that it's going to be CA.
Thank you. Omar, what do you have to say to the supporters of the Citizens Alliance Party and, of course, the young people of the Gambia?
At this juncture, the most important message that I can send out is to encourage young people, to encourage all Gambians of age and other eligibility to go out and get their voter card. The 2021 December polls is a poll for development. It's not a pool for democracy. It's not a pool for independence. It's a pool for us to determine the progresses that we should register as a state to make sure we eradicate poverty, we eradicate the crippling nature that is affecting our education system, our health sector, our transportation system, and all the challenges that our country is facing and our nation is facing today. So it is very important for everyone to partake in this election, not just as a standby, as a bystander, but as an active participant who would get his vote and get it casted at the ballots in December 4th, 2021. That's my message to the young people, and I think I'm optimistic that they will take a great part in the upcoming election.
Thank you very much, Omar, for coming to the Fatu Network. Well, that will be it for News Review today. But before that, we will let you with a little entertainment section. Our Mudiwangom did something on the Best of the Best concert. So let's take a look at that.
Point my head to the sky and say Alhamdulillah for the money, for the fame.
Held at Q City, which can be considered the Gambia's Wembley Stadium, if you will, the Best of the Best concert took place on Saturday, June 19th, and it was a massive success. With the very best of our Gambian artists taking the stage throughout the night, it was undeniably one of rich, homegrown entertainment. The attendees sang along to their favorite hits by their favorite hitmakers, barely missing any of the words, creating an atmosphere of synchronized Gambianism. Another way fans choose to express their excitement and love for the artists is by throwing items on stage, be it water bottles, items of clothing, or things of the sort. While compiling the story and going over the footage, we observed that the left glass of Attack Gay's shades suddenly got smashed during his performance. At first, we thought that an unidentifiable item was thrown at him, causing the shatter, but after thoroughly going through it, we think this was perhaps due to the amplification of the sound. For verification purposes, we managed to reach out to Attack.
Actually, I don't really know.
Okay, wow. Yeah, wow. Okay. Why realize the local during performance be after ngoko by hell?
Yeah.
Wow, Mungo. All right, thank you so much for your input, Attack. Thanks a lot. He hardly even noticed until after his performance. Now that's a true performer. Kajawara and Sticky B executed a successful night of the best concert featuring the very best of our current and upcoming artists. We wish them success and hope this marks the first of several to come. Reporting for the Fatu Network's News Review, I am Mudi Wangom.
Gambiana, Duma Europeana, not Americana, Africana, real Africana. I'm Gambiana, man from, hey, I think from the Juminda.